As we mentioned, there are different methods with the string object, which makes it more valuable to be working with string objects when we want to manipulate strings in general with Rust. So what are these methods? What are some of the most important methods? Well, there's new that we saw, right? That creates a new empty string. So we've already used some of them. Len, which we've used, okay? From, which we've used. But there are others. I'm not going to go through every single one. You can actually go through it on your own, but I'm going to show you a couple. I'm going to show you push, okay? Push is important because what you can do with push, as well as push string, is you can append the given character to the end of a string. What does that mean? It means you can actually manipulate the value of a string, change it through code. Because sometimes you can't just hard code what it is, and you're going to want to, or you're going to have some type of reason in which, let's say you're debugging something and you want to append some extra type of debugging flag. If XYZ happens, we're going to be looking at conditions and logical qualities and inequalities coming up after. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of these. Let's start, I think, with push. So let's go back in our main function here, and we're going to say push example. And we're going to create a variable. We're going to call it greeting. But remember, this is going to be immutable, right? It's not immutable. Remember, the default's immutable, and we want to push something into a greeting. That means we're going to be changing the value. So what do we put between here? Hopefully you remember. Remember the keyword mut. We want this to be mutable, okay? And this is going to be equal what? Well, let's create a string. So we're going to say string, and we're going to use the from method. So we're going to put something in, and we're going to say Julia says. All right, so this is our string, our starting string. And now we want to append to the end of this string a greeting. So we can even add a comma here and a space. And we could say greeting.push. And we can say Julia says hello. Oops, I can't spell it. Hello, okay? And now if we print it, so we're going to print it. We're going to print this out. Let's see the greeting. Oh, and because this isn't a character, we want to use not the push method, but the push underscore string method, right? We want to push over the slice, the entire string over. So let's go ahead and run this code. And take a look at that. Julia says hello. We've successfully pushed onto our string object this string, literal. Okay? Let me show you another one. Let's look at another one together. So what about eeny, meeny, miny, mo? What about converting a given value to a string? This could be quite important. Remember, we have string literals and string objects. They are not the same. What if we had a string literal and we wanted to convert it into a string object? Can we? Should we? So let's convert a string literal into a string object. So let's say we have a random string, which is going to be a demanding string. It's going to be demanding us to change. So the string's going to say, please make me into an object. How could we do that? Well, we can look right here, and this is what I want you to do too. When you try this out on your own and you're playing around with these methods, take one of these methods and be like, all right, I want to convert it. I'm going to do .toString, to_string, because this is the one that converts it. And is that it? Is that it? Yep, it's as easy as that. And now if we print this out, random string over here, let's go ahead and print it and run the code. We see that we run into no errors and we have successfully converted it. And you know what? I'm going to stop here, and in the next video, let's do an exercise that will help you to challenge and practice working with string objects, manipulating strings in Rust, and working with methods. But more than that, it's also going to further demonstrate to you that this really did convert. Because you may be thinking, how do I know, Clarion? How do I really know? Well, this exercise should prove it to you. So great work getting this far. If this is clear, then you are making excellent progress. If not, take your time and go over the material. You will get it, I believe. And I'll see you in the next video whenever you're ready. Bye-bye.